Chapter 14, The City of Brotherly Love. How could a boy be homesick with a traveling companion like Uncle Phineas? As they jogged along, he told such wondrous tales of Philadelphia that Benjamin's imagination flew on ahead. They passed farm carts loaded with wheat and cabbages and pigs and chickens and flax and corn for the market in Philadelphia, but Benjamin hardly saw them. In his mind's eye, he was already there. He pretended he was a big, pompous man, followed by a black cat and a slave pushing a wheelbarrow. He was striding from market stall to market stall, tasting little samples of butter and cheese, then stopping to let the black cat lick his fingers. When his half boots came untied, the slave had to kneel down and tie them. No matter what went wrong, the slave had to fix it. At last he bought some huge turtles and lobsters, a firkin of butter and cheese, a suckling pig, a gammon of bacon, a skipple of salt, and led the way home, his nose in the air. To the pleasant music of Uncle Phineas's voice and the steady hoofbeats of the big sorrel, Benjamin went on with his make-believe. He pretended next that he was the slave pushing the wheelbarrow along the rough block pavement of the market street. On every hand he was bumped and jostled. He could feel his back and arms ache with the weight of the load. He could feel the perspiration run down his face. In fact, with Uncle Phineas acting as a windbreak, and with Grimalkin's furry warmth and Samuel's extra coat, and the sun climbing higher and higher, Benjamin actually was perspiring. He tapped Uncle Phineas on the shoulder. "Uncle." "Yes?" "I am glad I am a Quaker like Papa. He says it is wrong to have slaves." "So it is," replied Uncle Phineas as he brushed a low-hanging branch out of his way. "And especially in a city like Philadelphia. Does thee know what the name Philadelphia means?" "No, Uncle." Philadelphia is a Greek word. It means brotherly love. "How did the Indians happen to choose a Greek name?" asked Benjamin, puzzled. Uncle Phineas slapped his thigh. "They didn't," he laughed. "They called it Coquanac, which means a grove of tall pines." "Are the pines still there?" "Not all of them, to be sure. Some are ships' masts now. They sail the seas, then come back to rest in the port of Philadelphia, in sight of the very hills where they grew." "Uncle Phineas, thee would have made a fine schoolmaster," sighed Benjamin as he lifted Grimalkin to his shoulder. They were traveling over low roads now, and early fall rains had churned them up. "Used to be we spoke of spring as mud time," mused Uncle Phineas. "Now it appears we have mud time in autumn, too." He fell silent, watching to see that his horse did not step into a chuck-hole. The only sound to be heard was the sucking noise made by the sorrel's hoofs and Grimalkin's rumbly purring. The town crier was calling the hour of 7 when Uncle Phineas and Benjamin and Grimalkin arrived in the city of brotherly love. Lanthorns twinkled in the entryways of the big brick houses. Slits of candlelight escaped through the shutters. Uncle Phineas was a bachelor and lived at the Penny Pot Inn. As they walked into the great room of the inn, a joint of meat was turning on a spit before the fire. Instead of a boy turning the roast, it was managed by a little dog running in a treadmill cage. Grimalkin high-tailed it for the hearth. He licked up all the little spatters of gravy, then sat hopefully waiting for more. "Turn faster, faster," he seemed to say. "I'm well-nigh starved." Benjamin was tired, and the poor turnspit dog looked so tired too, that a great wave of homesickness came over him. Perhaps it was not homesickness alone. Added to it was the hot feeling of guilt for sneaking Grimalkin away. Suddenly he was asking the innkeeper for a piece of paper and laboriously trying to write with a goose-quill pen that needed mending. Slowly the letters took form. For John West, to be left at door Latch Inn, near Springfield in Chester County, Philadelphia, the 28th of the 10th month, 1746. Dear Papa and Mama, Grimalkin is with me. He traveled well in Samuel's coat. I am sorry for hiding him. It was dreadful wrong of me. I hope to mend my ways, and hope thee will not mind paying the 4 pence postage. Thy loving son, Ben. Luckily, a post rider happened to be leaving for the West. He added Benjamin's letter to the others in his saddlebag and thundered off into the night. Benjamin watched him out of sight. Then he trudged back to the hearth. A good hot meal is what thee needs, smiled Uncle Phineas. And it was indeed. Benjamin ate a great slice of beef, although he had not meant to at all because of the poor turnspit dog. He finally made a bargain with himself. He would ask for a second slice and save half of it for the dog and half for Grimalkin. Then he felt better at once. When the innkeeper's daughter set a porringer of peas on the table with a little jug of honey, both Benjamin and Uncle Phineas recited together, "I eat my peas with honey. I've done it all my life. It makes the peas taste funny, but it keeps them on my knife." All homesickness was gone.